You are listening to How to Get Over Your Ex, episode number 318. What your ex took versus what they left behind. Welcome to How to Get Over Your Ex, a podcast on getting over your ex without it just taking time. I'm your host, breakup coach Dorothy. Let's turn your pain into power and your heartbreak into happy. Hello, beautiful brave hearts. Before we dive in, I have some exciting things that I want you to know about. First, we are live with the Breakup Clinic this week. It's a free 4-day experience happening Monday, December 8th through Thursday, December 11th, where you're going to get your personalized heartbreak diagnosis, your prescription, and your treatment plan. We're going to figure out exactly where you are in your healing, what's keeping you stuck, and what you can actually do to move forward. So no more guessing, no more generic advice, your specific situation, your specific remedy with surgical precision. So you can sign up at dorothyabjohnson.com/breakup clinic. So fun. It's like, hi, welcome. My name is Dorothy, the heartbreak doctor. I love it. So fun. But second, the Get Over Your Ex program actually is now open for enrollment starting today, Monday, December 8th. And I'm doing something I have not done in a very long time, my friends. I have added not one, but 3 private one-on-one calls with me throughout the duration of the program. So if you sign up between now and December 14th, you get 3 one-on-one calls with me throughout the whole duration of the program, which is so amazing. You get the best of both worlds. You get the group experience, the community, the curriculum, and one-on-one time with me to work through your specific situation. So I'm obsessed. I'm so excited. So that is until midnight, December 14th. You also, we're giving away 3 other bonuses. You get $500 off the complete program. Those 3 one-on-one calls, like I just mentioned, the How to Handle Heartbreak During the Holidays course. This is the course that you absolutely need. If you did not have this for Thanksgiving, I promise you're going to want it for Christmas and New Year's. And a physical workbook shipped right to your door. So if this is something you've been thinking about joining, I promise you this is the moment. You can grab your spot at dorothyabjohnson.com/getoveryourex. There is literally no reason to wait. This is the best of the best. Okay, so let's dive into today's episode. I need to tell you about a moment that makes me kind of cringe when I think about it. After my rock bottom breakup, the one where I was with someone for like 7 years and then it ended, I went through all of the classic stages, right? The crying, the not eating, the obsessively checking social media. Well, really his Venmo account, because that was the only thing I was left unblocked on. And then, listen, she appeared. And it happened way sooner than I thought she would, right? The new girlfriend. My ex moved on so quickly, about a month, probably before this, but I didn't see the photo of her and him until a month after the breakup. And I watched her start living my life. This was so terrible. The life that I had spent 7 years building, my friends, she was in her, like in the Instagram photos, the Facebook photos. She was at the places we used to go to. She was with our mutual friends, taking photos with my dog. Like mic drop, just the worst feeling. And I remember this gut punch like moment thinking she took everything from me. Like she reached into my life and just scooped it all out, my relationship, my social circle, my future, my life. And I was consumed by this narrative that she had stolen what was mine. And then one day, in the middle of spiraling, something occurred to me. What did she actually take? Like literally, what did she walk away with that was quote unquote mine? And ultimately it was him. And that was it. That's the list. And we can't even say that he was really quote unquote mine because we can't own people. But she got the guy who didn't choose me. She got the man who was capable of moving on 1 month after a 7-year relationship. She got someone who at the end of the day didn't want to be with me and did his best. And his best was so not great. And she didn't take my capacity to be loved. She didn't take my ability to build a life. She didn't take my future. She didn't take my worth or my net worth for that matter. She took him. And suddenly, the whole thing looked different for me. It wasn't that she stole my life. It's that I had confused him with my life, and I thought he was my life. So when he left, it felt like all that I had left was nothing, right? But the truth is, he was never those things. He was just a person, one person, and all the things I thought I lost, they were never his to take in the first place. And we think the ex took everything or the new girl took everything. And it feels like when your ex left, they packed up the entire future in their suitcase and walked out the door with it, right? Your plans, your security, your timeline, your sense of who you are, your confidence, your peace, gone, all of it. And maybe, like me, there's a new person in the picture and it feels like they have your life now and they're getting the vacations, the holidays, the intimacy, the future that was supposed to be yours. I remember she got a helicopter ride, which was supposed to be mine. We talked about a helicopter ride and that was I just was so upset. I was beside myself. But maybe there's no new person, but it still feels like your ex walked away with everything that mattered. Okay, you look at your life now and all you see is what's missing. When we have that mindset, all we can see is what's missing. The partner, the plans, the direction. And it's exhausting. I've lived it. I know it because it's exhausting. Because you're not just grieving a person at that point. You are grieving an entire life you thought you were going to have. Boom. You're grieving a life that you thought you were going to have. And I get it, and I've been there. Watching someone else live the life that I thought was mine. Convinced I had lost all of those things as well. But I was wrong. And I think you might be too. So let's do something really uncomfortable. Let's actually list out what your ex took when they left. And here was the list for me. My ex took the Netflix password. I ran off of his Netflix. So he had the Netflix password. He took the Netflix with him. He took some things, like some of the things that we lived with together were his. So he took some of those things. He took his presence at holiday and mutual events and maybe, themselves. That was pretty much all I could come up with, is those were the things that he truly did, quote unquote, take from me. And I want to just take a moment and think about the things that he couldn't take from me, that your ex couldn't take from you, no matter how much it feels like they did, okay? The first one I think that's really important to call out is your capacity to be loved. It's still fully intact. The fact that one person couldn't see your worth doesn't change your worth. And honestly, they might have even seen their worth and had more insecurities about themselves that block them from being with you. Because I don't think someone being with you or not really has anything to do with your worth. It just means that they weren't the one. There was a want, match, mismatch. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, I talk about it in previous episodes. But ultimately, what you want and what they want are probably not the same thing. And I know that sounds like something you'd read on a motivational poster in a therapist's office, but stay with me because it's true. Your lovability isn't determined by who chooses to love you. It is inherent. It's yours. One person not choosing you doesn't diminish it any more than one person not buying a house means the house has no value, okay? They didn't take your lovability. They just removed themselves from the position of loving you. What? Speaking of house and value, I think that's a really good analogy too, because when I went to go buy my house, it was listed for $515. And they had gotten an offer, I think, for $510, and I think they accepted it. But I saw the value of that house as a lot more. And I came in at, I think, $540. And they dropped the other offer to take mine. But again, because I value, it doesn't mean that the inherent worth of that home was this or that. It was that I valued it more than the other person, which is just so crazy, right? So that was a side tangent. But the other thing that I think that we want to look at that either your ex or this new person can't take is your ability to build the life that you want. I'm going to say it again. Your ability to build the life that you want, okay? The house, the travel, the career, the family, the lifestyle, everything you envisioned with them, none of that requires them specifically. It required a partner. And what I need you to know is that there are 8 billion people on this planet. And I know that your brain wants to tell you that your ex was the only one who could give those things. That is a lie, a very convincing lie, but a lie nonetheless. Your ability to create the future you want is fully intact. They didn't take it. They just removed themselves from the building crew, and now it's time to double down and make it happen no matter what. It reminds me of like contractors. I work with so many contractors in my business, and if I don't like the job of one contractor, I'm going to drop them and find someone else who makes it happen and makes my vision happen. I'm going to make it happen no matter who's in my life or not in my life. The other thing that they didn't take from you is your resilience. You have survived 100% of your worst days so far. Okay, you're alive, you're listening to this. This one won't be the exception. And I know right now it feels unsurvivable, but you're here listening to the podcast, showing up for yourself, and that's resilience. And they didn't take that with them when they left. The other thing is your future. This is a big one. They didn't take your future, they just removed themselves from it. Your future is still right there, waiting for you to claim it. Just like I talked about, your bigger and better life. The only thing that changed is who's in it with you. And honestly, the person who's supposed to be in your future is someone who actually wants to be there. I know that stings sometimes. And then lastly, your magic. That thing that makes you, your humor, your depth, your emotions, your passion, your weirdness, your heart. They did not pack that into their boxes when they left. It's all still there, every bit of it. And that's amazing. Okay, so if they didn't take all the things we think they took, what did they leave behind? I really have been spending a lot of time contemplating this. And ultimately, I see it as like space. That's what they left. I know right now that's the space. I kind of see it as a blank white canvas, but ultimately it's space in the energetics world and then the scientific world. They left space. And it can feel unbearable. It feels like a gaping wound, like an absence of, that it echoes every time you walk through that empty space. But that space is for someone who won't leave, the person who's going to show up and actually stay. And they need room to enter your life. And your ex was occupying that space, and now it's available. Space for a life that doesn't require you to shrink. Think about how much of yourself you compressed to make that relationship work. The things you didn't say, the dreams you put on hold, the version of yourself you toned down. You don't have to shrink anymore. There's room, space for you to grow and be all of that in your bigness, your boldness, and your brightness. Space for the woman you couldn't become while you were busy trying to make it work. Oh my God, just hits, right? When you are busy trying to make it work, now there's space to be that version of yourself that you truly see. And this is something I see over and over with my clients. The version of them that emerges after their breakup is someone they could have never become inside of that relationship. And not because the relationship was bad, but because growth requires the space. And now they had the space and the room to be seen for who they were and like it. Space for the bigger and better, right? That thing we talk about all the time in the community. The life that's bigger and better than the one that you had with your ex. The life, I feel like that life, the bigger and better life, needs room to be built. And now there's room to build it. I want you to actually write it out. 2 columns. Column 1, what they actually took. Column 2, what they can't take from you, and be ruthless. Did they actually take your ability to be loved, or did they just remove their presence? Did they actually take your future, or did they just exit from it? And I feel like a lot of people never take the time to do this exercise. They've just accepted the narrative that their ex took everything. When you actually write it out, you'll see how short the took list really is. It took me a long time to figure out the ones that I listed for you. And secondly, I want you to start filling that big space. They left space, so let's start filling it with something intentional. not busy work, not distraction, something meaningful that's about your life, your growth, your future. Maybe that's signing up for something you've been putting off, or maybe it's reaching out to a friend you've been neglecting. Maybe it's starting that project that's been sitting in I wanted to say black hole, or the back of your mind, and I merged the two. One thing, just choose one thing this week and start filling that space. I want you to pick one thing that fills the space with you, okay? Now, inside the Get Over Your Ex program, this is exactly what we help you do. We take that space, the gaping hole that feels so unbearable, and we fill it with you. Your goals, your growth, your glow up, your comeback, until one day you look around at that life you've built and you realize the space they left was truly, actually the gift. And here's what I want you to walk away with today. Your ex took themselves. That's what they took. They left you with everything else. Your capacity to be loved, your ability to build the life that you want, your resilience, your future, your magic, all of it is still yours. And yes, they left space, a lot of it, space that feels terrifying right now, but that space isn't a wound. It is the raw material for everything you're about to build. The life that's bigger and better, it gets built in that space. The person you're becoming, she needs that space to emerge. And the partner who's actually going to show up, they need that space to enter. And now it's yours to fill. All right. Don't forget, the Breakup Clinic is happening now, December 8th through the 11th, totally for free at dorothyabjohnson.com/breakup clinic. And if you're ready to really dive in, the Get Over Your Ex program is open with $500 off, 3 private one-on-one calls with me, the holiday course, and the physical workbook, all until midnight on December 14th. dorothyabjohnson.com/getoveryourex. All right, my beautiful brave hearts, I love you so much, and I will talk to you next time. If you're loving the How to Get Over Your Ex podcast and you want to learn how to get over your ex in 3 months or less to build a life better than the one you thought you had with your ex, I would like to personally invite you to my next group course where we take everything you've learned here on the podcast and apply it to your life. Come check it out at www.lifecoachdorothy.com.